Hi guys, it's your girl Ursula. I get talk. Ursula C, and I am coming to you guys because it's been a minute since I've came on and done a daily devotional, and I just wanted to come on today and actually do one. Sorry, I look kind of hot mess, but I woke up early this morning. I had to do some running around, taking care of some business. And so I was just kind of sitting here, just being lazy. And I was like, you know what? I really need to work out. Go ahead and do my workout for today. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? To kind of give me that extra jump and get my mind right and focused and everything, I was like, let me go ahead and read my daily devotion for today. And I apologize for the space in between that I haven't come on to do a daily devotion. It's just that there has been days when I've wanted to do it. But like I've always said, I can't come on here every day and do it. I just hope that if you do have the book, that I hope that you're following and you're reading every day and that it is helping you. For those of you that don't know the book I'm talking about, it's The New Day, New You by Joyce Myers. This is what it looks like. And it's a really great book. It has 366 devotions for enjoying your everyday life. And these devotionals always seem to pick me up. And most of the time, I'll say 95%, maybe 97% of the time, they relate to what's going on in my life at, like right at the time that I'm reading it. It seems like, how you maybe haven't gone to church in a while, and then you go to church and you hear this sermon and you're like, the pastor was talking about me. That's how I feel about this book majority of the time that I open it up. So it really helps me, and as I always say, I hope that it some way somehow helps you or helps you to help somebody else. So anyway, like I said, I don't always come on here and do this, but especially when I feel that I really need to come on and vent and read and all this other great things, I have to make it a point to come on at that exact time if I can, especially if I'm looking like this. This must be important, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's get started. It's July 18th, and this one is called All Things Work for Good. This is coming from Romans chapter 8, verse 28. It says, we are assured and know that all things work together and are for good too, and for those who love God and are called according to his design and purpose. She goes on to say that this scripture does not say that all things are good, but it does say that all things work together for good. Let's say you're planning to go shopping. You get in the car and it won't start. There are two ways you can look at this situation. You can say, I knew it, never fails. Every time I want to do something, it gets all messed up. I figured this shopping trip would end up a flop. My plans always do. Or you can say, well, I wanted to go shopping, but it looks like I can't go right now. I'll go later when the car is fixed. In the meantime, I believe this change in plans is going to work out for my good. There is probably some reason I need to be at home today, so I'm going to enjoy my time here. In Romans 12 and 16, the Apostle Paul tells us to readily adjust ourselves to people and things. The idea is that we must learn to overcome the kind of person who plans things but who doesn't fall apart if that plan doesn't work out. Even a person who is really positive won't have everything work out the way he would like it to all the time. But the positive person can go ahead and decide to enjoy himself no matter what happens. Yeah, and when I read this today, I just wanted to laugh because I'm going through this right now. And I think like this a lot, that every time I move in the right direction and I try and do something good, that something bad happens or something conflicts with what I'm trying to do. And I really need to learn to get that thought, or I guess I should say that way of thinking, out of my mind. There is a purpose for everything. God has a purpose for everything. He doesn't do stuff to just be like, okay, I'm going to do this to this person today. Let's just see what happens. Let's experiment. God does everything for a reason, for a purpose. And I laugh at this because in the first paragraph, she gives an example of how maybe you're deciding to go shopping and then all of a sudden the car doesn't start. And you're like, okay, My car's been working fine. What's the deal? You know, I've experienced something like this, and maybe you guys have too. Like maybe, let's just say that you work at a clothing store, okay? And you're supposed to get off at 5. And you're ready to get off at 5 because you have things you want to do, you have to do, you have an appointment to be to or at, whatever the situation is. And then the person who's relieving you doesn't come in until 7 o'clock. And you're like, that's 2 hours. I have to stay here 2 hours. Well, guess what? You go out, you go home, you get to wherever you're going, and you hear, or maybe the girl coming in says, hey, I was late because there's a big accident right here. And even though I was only 10 minutes away, it just held up everything. Have you ever thought that, like, man, if I would have left at the time that I was supposed to leave at, that could have been me in the accident? I've thought like that, and I've had those things happen. I've been in situations where I'm like, oh, I wish these people, I'm driving. I'm like, they are just driving so slow today. Why is everybody trying to go so slow when I need to be at where I need to be somewhere, And then you find out there was an accident, or maybe before you got to the store was robbed. I don't know. Just things like that happen, and it makes you think, like, first of all, we need to be a little bit more patient in our everyday lives. And I know it's hard to do it. And just because I get on here and talk about being patient and doing this doesn't mean that my life is 100% this way, because God is always working on me. And I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that my faith isn't just 10,000% there. It's a learning thing over time, and I think that people are just at different points in their relationship with God. So some people, it might seem like they have more faith or more this, and maybe they do, but that's because they're at a different point or a different spot in their relationship and their growth with God. But it's just funny because we do this all the time, and we don't think like maybe God did it for a reason. I'm going through something right now, and I'm like, why is this so hard? Why is it easy for other people? It's harder for me. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, blah blah blah. But I have to realize that God does everything for a reason. And whether it's to teach me a lesson, maybe it's being done to me so someone else close to me can learn the lesson. Maybe it's also a lesson to know that to value what you have a little bit more and what you're going through. And also it's teaching me that, hey, Ursula, if things don't work out the way that you planned, it's okay, because everything is not worked out for your plans or for your way. It's God's way. But know that whatever He has, it is for the good. It's to teach you a lesson. It's to bless you with something bigger and better than what you think that you can have or get or deserve. So I'm going to take this devotional from today, and I am going to make an honest effort that every time something good happens, and then in that same area something bad happens or something's taken away from me, I'm really going to take heed and start training my mind and asking God and really being in prayer with God about just accepting things the way that they are. Go along with the flow. And I've been doing that, but things come up, and it makes you, I don't want to say doubt, but you get a little bit unstable in your faith and everything. But I'm going to make it a top priority to not think that way anymore. I remember when I moved, and I was like, I'm going to find me a new church home, because I felt that God had told me to find a new church home, get closer to me. I did. Baptized. I did all this stuff, and then something happened in my life, and I felt like, gosh, every time I get a little bit ahead or do something in the right direction of going towards God and doing right for others or for myself, whatever the case is, that something always, and there's always a negative. And I can't always think of those things as a negative. And if it is a negative, because the devil is at work, you know what? We got to know that, okay, God's going to go ahead and allow this stuff to happen, but he's going to bless me in another way. Or by this happening, this is truly a blessing in disguise, because I'm going to be able to help somebody else before it happens to them. So I am truly, truly, truly going to make it a top priority to try to remain calm. I thought I was doing a good job, but I still, things come up, and it reminds us that we could work, when you think that you've gotten to that point, that we still can work a little bit harder. Our faith can be increased even more. So I'm just going to make it a top priority. Once again, I've said it 1,000 times, but I am. I'm really going to make it a top priority to remember that when good things happen and then something negative happens, or something gets prolonged, for instance, like this, like I really wanted to go here. That happened last week. I could just sit here and talk to you all day about how things happen. Let me tell you something. I live in a smaller town now. I used to live in a bigger city, and for right now, I'm living in a smaller town. And what happened basically is it's a 45-minute drive. Well, I wanted to go to the city. I'll say it like that. I wanted to go to the city to go to a hair store. Yeah. It was a new opening of a hair store. And I wanted to go. And I was just like, I'm going. It had been raining. And I'm like, you know what? The first time that I'm like, nobody wants to go with me anywhere. And I was like, I'm going to just go on my own. I'm going to this store because I really want to go. It was a big deal. And then it rains. And I'm like, okay. Well, if I can't go on Saturday, I'll just go during the week. Well, it was still raining during the week. And guess what? I was like, man, I'm going. I don't care. But thank God, for whatever reason, it wasn't like my car didn't start or something like that. I was just like, it's raining. I'm not going. And thank God that I didn't go, because the area that I have to pass through to get to the location I was headed, it was raining so bad that literally people were posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram and different things. Cars were underwater. Now, could you have imagined, especially if I had not seen that, and I was just whoop whoop, in my little car just gone. I could be underwater, or my car could be messed up. I couldn't have a car. Something could have happened to me. That's how bad it was. And so those little things, you're like, man, I'm never going to get to that shop. But you know what? Thank you, God, that I wasn't in any of that, because there's no telling. And plus, I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to driving in the rain. Long story. But thank God that I wasn't driving. Thank God that I saw those pictures in advance, I was sitting up there, I'm like, it's raining, but maybe it's not raining there. But thank God, those pictures were shown. Thank God, for television, that we were able to see if it's raining there and different things. But the point is I wanted to do something, and that was not in God's plans. And maybe it wasn't just a matter of safety for me. Maybe it was because, you know what? You could save that money and you could do something else. And matter of fact, the money that I probably would have spent there, I was actually able to do something really nice for my mom. And I think that is better money spent than on my hair. It's like I don't have products, because y'all watch some of my other videos, I got products. But it was just the point of, you know what, take that same money that you're going to do something for yourself and do something for somebody else. And if you know anything, and I think I talked about this in another devotional, that's what God loves the most. That's like the most highest thing you can do, is show your love, do unto others, do for others. That's one of the highest honors that God, loves to see his children do, is doing for his other children, doing for others, not just for yourself, but doing for others. And the fact that I was able to do that for my mom, I think that's like a blessing to her. She's excited. I'm excited. And that's quality time that we're going to be able to spend together and have fun. And you can't get that back at a hair store. Once you use the hair product up, that's it. But the memories that you make with your family and your friends, that's forever. And those are the things that we need to cherish in life. So I'm signing off. I just had to get on. I know this one was a little long, but we just have to remember that when things come at us, and why is this happening? Why do they have this, or why do they have this, or why this or why that? You need to thank God, and you need to be mindful of what's going on around you, because really, it's in God's plan. And because sometimes God does allow good things to happen to us, and sometimes not so good things happen to us, and it's because we need to learn a lesson. There's a lesson there. There's something He's trying to teach us, and He's always trying to teach us and open up new doors to us so that we can grow closer to Him. And I don't think a lot of people realize that's what God does. It's not to hurt us. It's not to just piss us off. But it's something that we have to learn. Everybody on their own journey, whatever, has to learn these things. And I really am, people are always like, I need a sign or I need something. This was confirmation, this devotional here today, that, there's two ways you can look at a situation. You can automatically look at the bad. I mean, it's normal for us to have a reaction like, dang, but be like, step back and be like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow of whatever is supposed to happen. So I'm not going to try and just, do things just because. I'm going to do things because they're right by what God says. Anyway, this has ran way too long. No, it hasn't, because when you're talking and when you're just getting stuff out, that's just how it goes. So anyway, I am going to see you guys on the next daily devotion. Hopefully it'll be soon, because I'm telling you, I'm learning, and I get frustrated sometimes, but I'm learning, and that's what this is all about, is learning so that we can grow closer to God. So anyway, it's been nice being able to videotape this, because I really needed that, and I'm sure somebody else might have really needed that. So I am out of here. Talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.